Today, we are building wooden crates to fill out the terrain end of your wargaming experience, because this is an awesome way of adding beautiful looking terrain to your table, and it's free because I'm providing a link in the description below this video where you can download the file for yourself and follow along with the video.
You crazy mother...
To start out with, you're going to be getting this beautiful piece of paper. Well, you're not actually going to get the paper. You're going to be able to print this piece of paper by yourself, because this is what you get when you download the link. This is a template to build all of the boxes. A few things you're going to need in this process, by the way. You're going to need an X-Acto knife, preferably with a nice sharp blade, a ruler, preferably a metal one, a glue stick, and optionally foam core board. If you're looking to buy any of this stuff, there is links in the description. You can take a look. Either whoozle, onward to step one. The first thing we need to do, obviously, once you've printed it off, I'm assuming you printed it off. That is actually step one. We're gonna call that step 0. Okay, step 1. That's what we're actually doing right now, is we're gonna cut out the boxes. I know you would never guess. Obviously, one of the big things about when you're cutting out these boxes is you need to be cutting in just inside of the print. If you're cutting outside, you're going to get the white lines from the paper, and you don't want that because that will actually show up on the final product. So cut these things out, take your time, make them nice and clean. Again, I use an X-Acto blade instead of a pair of scissors because I find I am more efficient and more effective, and I get cleaner cuts, but you theoretically could use scissors for this. Cut the entire box out like you see here. Once you're done cutting out all the boxes, we're going to be moving on to step 2, the folding, directed by M. Night Shyamalan with a special twist at the end of the video. Okay, anyhow, back to my overly caffeinated self. We are going to be folding all of the dotted lines that you see in this little diagram. I provided this as part of the print-off, so you can see where you're actually going to be folding, because in my actual design, I don't include the little dotted lines, because I don't want those to show up on the final product. I'd rather them look nice, beautiful, and polished, so we're going to be doing it on this little template one. If you haven't done papercraft before, essentially, if you see a dotted line like this, you fold the fold inward. If you see a dotted line like that, where it's dot dash, you're going to be folding it outward. Obviously, as I should probably mention as well, the print, our actual graphic, is on the outside. So technically the dotted lines and stuff are on the back where we didn't print, so you have to kind of invert this into your brain hole to make it work properly. Obviously, for a box, we are only folding inward, so it's a little bit less complicated. This is a nice beginner tutorial if you're new to papercraft. Once you have them all folded up like so, we can move on to step 2.5, which is the optional part of the video, and this is where we're going to be building a solid insert foam core center for the inside of our boxes so they don't crush so easily when we're putting them on the table. Essentially, the way you're going to do this is you get some foam core, you're going to cut all the foam core into the appropriate size, make sure that it stacks to the right size, and the nice thing about foam core as well is if it's a little bit taller than your actual box, you can just squish it down a little bit to make it so it actually fits inside your box. And then we're going to move on to actual step 3, which is gluing all of the boxes together. So the way we're going to do this, the best thing you're going to do is you're going to get a scrap piece of paper. I luckily have one hanging around here. Don't use paper or don't use anything that you printed that you actually want to keep. You're then going to be gluing both surfaces that you're going to be actually gluing to. So in this case, we're going to be gluing the tabs, and we're going to be gluing the place where the tabs are going to be going. The reason I do this is because when you have two surfaces that both have a little bit of glue on it, they actually adhere better than you trying to push one side that has glue onto a side that does not have glue. So it actually makes it so they stick together faster and seal together faster, which makes your life a lot easier, especially if you're using just regular A4 white printer paper rather than thick cardstock paper, which you'll use for more higher-end papercraft stuff. Now, I would like to mention, with this final step, we are not going to be gluing these last tabs yet. So as you can see, I've left them open. I folded them all backwards because we are going to be putting the foam core into the foam core of the box. Foam core inception. Yeah, you get it. Now, if you're like me and you get a little bit sloppy when you're doing stuff that you don't think that really matters, you might need to actually trim these down. So you don't want to force them in there because the paper won't take it. The paper will just break. So you're going to want to trim down your foam box. Usually when you're doing this, I highly recommend just use your X-Acto knife and clean up your desk as you're going. So make sure you're putting any garbage, any trash with the most trashy part of your desk. Once you're done that, then you're going to glue up that box, shove it into the box. I should be really more specific on what boxes I'm talking about here. You're going to glue up the foam part of the box and put it into the paper part of the box. And then you're going to glue the top of that, put the tabs down, glue the tabs, glue the back, put the thing on, done. You get the idea, and now you have a finished box. That's the entire step. You do that for all of them, and you're done. At this point, if you are still watching the video, why don't you consider subscribing to Giant Monster Games, throw on that notification button so you can get notified whenever I put up interesting new content, or join the Discord so you can be part of the conversation and you can see what kind of crazy stuff I'm working on in the very near future. Either way, I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, though, my name is Adrian. This has been Giant Monster Games. And don't forget, gaming is life life, and life is gaming. That's like I'm just trying out new taglines every single time. The twist of the video will be that I'm going to use a new tagline. There you go.